go by Coach Young, Terrell L. Young. Yeah, man, I'm a coach. I coach football, basketball, wrestling, and now since I've transitioned down south, I coach people. I've been coaching probably a good 20 plus years or so. The Boys and Girls Club started in flag football, and then it just kind of escalated and grew from there. And then basketball, 7th and 8th graders. Yeah, my students, they was dogs.
What's a moment in your life where you realized no one was coming to save you and you had to become your own rescue?
The year is 1998. My brother, he was actually headed to Kuwait. He was in the army and came home to see us before he went to war. Some dude trying to rob him, knocks the dude out and whatever. And after that, some other young dudes beat this dude up real bad, and the lady runs the dude over and accidentally kills him. They say we're gonna tell that the dude from the military did it, and so my brother was convicted of a felonious assault. He was snatched off a plane, U.S. Marshals extradited him back to Ohio. That moment right there began to shape my life, my belief, my faith in God. It was some of the most formative years of my life. It was actually the first time my brother and my father and I sat down as adult men and had a conversation in a prison, which was really weird. And it was just, I had so many different monumental forming moments through that experience. And I think I can pinpoint that moment right there that began to help me to become aware of where I was gonna get support, how faith was gonna grow, and just how the impossible could just come out of a very hard and tumultuous place.
So flipping the coin, if I could say that.
Yeah.
Who were the people that kept you grounded? Since you had to be your own rescue, but then there are times where, you have your village.
I moved away. I was living in Detroit, Michigan. I was a truck driver and met my wife. She was a federal customs agent at the Ambassador Bridge, and our lives intersected. My bro, my homeboy, he's like my brother. For real name is O.J. Simpson, but true story. So yeah, those were two individuals that just walked alongside me, and there's this terminology called the ministry of presence, and they just had a presence in my life that I was able to be vulnerable, able to cry and be angry and have a safe place. I'm learning this. People don't believe what you say, man. People believe what you do.
Exactly.
And I had people, not a lot, but I had individuals who would do something. My wife, she's my best friend. And so she kept me grounded, going to visit my brother. My father was the strongest piece of iron that I know. And so them two, along with them two, and my other brother and my wife, they were my pillars that kind of helped me stay anchored and grounded.
Not every good piece of advice is good advice.
Sure.
You had to grow up and you had to correct it yourself because you saw that it was doing something to you as a person. What bad advice was that?
Some bad advice I got was actually from a professor. He told me I would never be an educator. And his words were not as piercing, but just I was extremely aware of his projection, his limitations on me. And 20 plus years later, I have 3 master's degrees, and I'm a school principal and a licensed counselor and school counselor. And so I actually tried to look for him and send him a couple of copies of my degree.
See, that's why I think you're from New York, because it's like that's how it come out. Just like Jay-Z did when they say he'll never get on Billboard.
Right.
And he was faxing I'm on Billboard.
Right.
Through a whole fax.
Yeah.
So
I'm a business,
I get you.
man.
I get you.
Right.
What impact do you want to leave behind? Legacy.
Wow.
Do you want to leave behind even when no one may know your name?
there more than likely is coming a day when I won't be here. And then an empty seat will be where I used to sit at. I would want people to know that with every fiber of my being, I tried my best. Not tried, I did my best to love people. I did my best to be a friend. And that I tried to see every moment and get whatever I needed to get out of that moment. I'm a terrible optimist. I just always believe in every situation something good is going to come from that. So when I'm not here, I want people to know that I love them for real. Even those who didn't agree with me or my enemies, some type of way, I chose to make a conscious effort, choice, or decision to love them.
What's going on, good people?
Yep.
This your boy Drees checking in. I hope everyone is having a great week so far, and like always, I hope the same for your mental health. And I'm gonna have to say it, this is my pastor.
What up?
Just got the most welcoming vibe, just shaking my hand, interested in what I'm doing, interested in the Trap Conscious, because I had on the gear, like,
look,
just looking to support in any way that he can. And from there, it was just like, okay, you know, I'm starting to like this church, you know? It was it's something I've been looking for, you know, looking for a pastor that, you know, or a pastor that is a part of a church that is about, you know, the mission, is able to submit.
Wow.
You know, just seeing him submit every Sunday. Every Sunday.
Wow.
You know, we just came off a Pioneers conference.
Ooh.
And seeing him submit the whole entire weekend, even though sometimes I did not see him. You know, I know he was working behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
You know, he was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but, you know, just seeing him being able to submit, that's like, okay, this is the type of pastor that I want to follow. This is the type of pastor that, hey, I want to be able, if he has to correct me, I can take correction because he knows how to take correction.
Wow.
You feel me?
Man.
So, everyone, Trap Out fam, please welcome. And I mean, you may hear me call him Coach Young too.
Yeah, I like that.
Pastor Coach. Hey, please welcome Coach Young, Pastor Young. How you doing,
What
sir?
up, man?
Yes,
My
sir.
man
Yes,
Drees in the
sir.
building.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What up,
sir.
y'all?
So, Coach.
What up, man?
You just received an award.
Ooh, wow.
You are coming off something, in my eyes, very, very honorable.
Wow.
I know you work with Black SEL over at my old high school, Hillside High. Marching Hornets, Blue Steel was handed.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't know you Hillside.
Yes, sir. Yes,
oh,
sir.
that's what's up.
So yeah, you work with my old high school over there at the Black SEL. They just opened up a hub over there, and you received the Facilitator Award.
Yeah. So big up shout outs to my sis Kristen and Josh Hopkins Vincent. They are founders and this. So when I was in 10th grade, my college biology teacher, rest in heaven and power, Miss Brenda Robinson, every day I used to walk into her classroom, she was like, shut up, you ain't got time to talk and all this. And so we started with a group called the Success Club, Students Unrest Committee controlling every student's success. And she dropped the seed, the Black SEL seed, back in there about 30 plus years ago. And it was a space where young Black kids were able to be liberated and free. They found themselves, they got things like live civics or social responsibility. We were empowered to have this place and this voice. And so my other mentor, Mr. George Whitfield, he was also my football and wrestling coach. And they started this journey when I was a young dude in high school, teenager, trying to figure myself out. And so fast forward 30 years later, I find myself joining up God some type of way. He'll intersect your life with a promise or an assignment. And I ran into them, and I have been doing this work for a while and partnering with them, figuring out how to walk alongside young Black students, give them a space to be safe, to be them. And this past fall, September, we launched the first Black SEL, Black Social Emotional Learning Hub at Hillside High School. And I gotta be honest with you, man, I am still trying to be all right in the space of those emotions. When I was able to literally sit down in this space, I just started weeping and crying. And so they was asking me, yo, Coach Young, what's going on, what you feeling right now? And it was just the culmination that we finally have a space of our own that's dedicated to us, that's not hijacked by other ideas and people, but we were able to have this space where young Black kids and students that look like me, that look like my sons and daughters and my students, that can just be, they can be themselves, be empowered, know how to have a voice, know their sense of identity. And so serving alongside them for the last 3 or 4 years, they saw fit to celebrate me as one of the facilitators this past year. And it has been by far one of my highest honors in my professional career. So Christian, Josh, man, I love y'all so much. Black SEL family.
Legacy fam too.
Look, straight up,
Yes,
for real,
yes.
for real. So yeah, man, it was just a high honor, man. So yeah, man, thank you for bringing that up and sharing.
It sounds like also with that facilitator award, you know, you put in a lot of work, and it sounds like you have been in the trenches too.
Man,
22 years.
yeah, at least.
22 years at least.
Yeah,
It could
at
be
least.
more.
Oh yeah, my wife and I, we this year we're celebrating 25 years of holy matrimony. My wife and I, December 30th, we got married 25 years ago, and I started as a truck driver in the basement of a church in Detroit, Michigan. My wife was a master teacher, and she's a choir director, and she toured the nation, sang all this, and she was like, yo, Terrell, go over there and, you know, entertain them kids and do all this. So I grew up, I have a cool, dope experience in church and youth camps and all of these types of things. And one day, I had like 30 kids in the basement of the church, and so I'm very animated. You know, I coach, I'm loud, I'm just expressive like that. So I was teaching this story just in my own expression on Jonah, and this school teacher's daughter was in my class. And she went and found me after one of my classes and was like, yo, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you gotta be an educator. I'm like, ma'am, you don't understand who you're talking to. I'm the king class clown. Didn't no teacher want me in their class. I was wilding out. She was like, listen, how you presented this, my daughter, you know, knew everything that you were saying and all that. So she's a master teacher in the city of Detroit. And so it started like 25 years ago, man, just teaching kids and being expressive. And I went and got through a discipline. I was a truck driver and went back to school and started, you know, at Kent State University. I have a Bachelor's of Science, Integrated Language Arts and Communications. And then I went, got a master's degree, a dual master's in clinical and educational counseling. So I was a therapist for a little bit, then went into school counseling, and then I became a school principal. I have my third master's is school administration. Okay. Fayetteville State University. I'm a Bronco, HBCU,
Okay,
yeah.
Broncos, FSU.
So all that just we've been doing this for a while. My journey is very interesting because everywhere I went, man, I was the only Black man. From every class that I was in, every educational class that I was in, my school teaching, when even in grad school, I was the only Black male for like 4 or 5 or 6 years through grad school. And then my last master's, it started with 2 Black men, then I was the Lone Ranger. And so it has been a little bit of time, but I'm so thankful and so very appreciative
Yeah.
to be able to endure all of those spaces. And yeah, man, we've been doing this for a little bit.
Let's stay on the subject of Black social emotional learning.
Yeah,
And you having to be in these spaces where you are the only Black man.
yeah.
How were you able to navigate that with, keeping your mental health together
Yeah.
and being in these spaces, and you may be seen a different way?
Yeah.
You may have had some criticism because of your color, because
Absolutely.
of who you are, and just the history of us.
Yeah.
Deep dive into that for me. Like, how did you keep your mental health together, and how did you take care of yourself while in those spaces?
Man, that's such a great question. So there's certain little phrases that kind of kept me anchored. So people's perceptions are their realities. How they perceive the thing is real to them. Like I've been in situations where I had people that didn't look like me, uh, predominantly white females or males that had a perception about who I was as a person. So there were times that I had to overtly be very intentional and mindful of how I responded, how I gathered my emotions. There were times when I was racially profiled. My family was taken out of our car and put into the back of a police van and wagon and drove the opposite way. And so with the sheriff and officers hand on his gun, I would have to figure out how I can maintain my civility with my sons and my daughter and my wife there, along with still being angry and frustrated and upset. I found myself in multiple different places, and so I automatically gravitated to this space of counseling and this space of trying to understand what it is that I'm feeling. So, for example, young men, a lot of emotions that are perceived through us would be like the emotion of anger. But anger is just a symptom, most times, of fear. Fear of not being in control of a thing, and so I'm angry. I'm upset. Anger is that emotion that is the sign or that sensor that says there's been an injustice, something wrong has happened, and so I through discipline, through study, and then through our own culture and our community, we've been able to find out, hey, these are not bad emotions. We had to like reframe ways of thinking. And so one of the best things, like I said before, people don't believe what you say, they believe what you do. And so I would have to do this. I would have to model being upset or being angry or being frustrated or allowing myself to be vulnerable in these spaces, but create a discipline. I was watching a cool documentary. I think it was Eddie Murphy. He was talking about he had these little quirks, and he was like, mental illness. I don't got no mental illness, and so he began to start like trying to force himself not to have these tendencies or behaviors. And so we are always kind of boxed into this stigma. There are certain things that have always been projected onto us within our culture as a people. So here, my father was born in 1950. So in the 50s, 54 was like Brown versus Board of Education, they integrated schools. In the 60s, there was this, the revolution. In the 70s, what people don't know, in our community, there was the highest rate of divorce because a lot of industrial jobs were sent away over into like China. And so in the 80s, crack cocaine, 90s, AIDS, HIV, 2000s, internet bust on the scene, and 2010, social media, 2020, a pandemic. So every decade for the last 75 years or so, our community has been strategically hit with certain things. And it has actually caused for us to be rewired into how we respond with our emotions. And if you don't have people who are aware of those things, just like we get sick in our body, our brain can get sick. And that's where the mental illness can come from. And if we don't foster a safe place where we can allow for ourselves to be healed in our cognitive areas, then we can potentially perpetuate these mental illnesses. And then some people will actually create them into identities. And now they coax them or they'll medicate them as opposed to saying, hey, how can I be free from this thing or this space? Or how do I get well? How do I get my mind well after having such a traumatic experience. And so those disciplines that have really supported me in the work and call that we do in education. The education area is one of the greatest spaces that we can serve in this place of mental illness. That's why I'm so just overwhelmed and impressed by your call and assignment to be trapped conscious through mental health. Um, it is ideal that you have that awareness, because I guarantee you are going to be the model for other young brothers that are coming behind us, so that they can be able to see, nah, man, in a culture that is consumed by attention, in a culture that is consumed by this virtual reality of likes, shares, and subscribes, there's so much more of our mental stamina that needs to be strong, that needs to be well.
True.
And so I'm excited about this next leg that you're running in, that you are able to be congruent with understanding what mental health really is, and modeling that, and then being a part of the cure. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, man.
Yes,
For
sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about more impact. What life story, or what life have you changed? What story, do you get now? Like someone, or a young man or young woman that you may have interacted with recently, and you see the change, the spark in them, because now it's like, okay, I'm getting through.
Yeah.
Like give me a story like that.
Wow. I remember there's this young student. Her name is Montasia, and I owe her an apology, because I came up short with trying to create a space to protect her. And I was a dean of students in Youngstown City Schools. And there was another administrator that didn't look like us that was just approaching her from the wrong space. And I remember me and my brother, who was another administrator. It was 2 black men and 1 black female, and this other administrator that didn't look like us. And I remember now the helplessness of not being able to help her, how I needed to help her. And I still feel the weight of owing her service, owing her a safe place to be able to get her emotions out. And those are things, sometimes we want to show every shot that we made, but what about those ones that we're still working on and developing? And I don't want to paint a picture like everything was good and everybody listened and everybody did those things. And so some moments they didn't turn out the way that I wanted. Okay. There are spaces that I work with some students, like this past year over at Southeast Raleigh Magna High School. My principal brought me in, and we just drastically started approaching from a restorative lens and not a punitive lens. And we decreased our out-of-school suspensions by 21% from the gift of being able to serve students in the capacity. And most people know that your highest suspension rates those disparities come alongside of young African American men, which is one of the areas that we've been able to serve in. We haven't perfected it all the way yet, but anybody that knows anything about percentages, that's a good starting place. So this approach with being radical with how we support our students social and emotionally in their learning from a restorative place and not a punitive place, we've seen some good efforts. In my own house, my son, he's a student that has, made the deans and presidents list. He's a free safety, and he's talking to me about, yo, Dad, I learned this from you. And it just, I'm 5 foot nothing, and it makes me feel 7 feet tall to know that, not that I was the greatest at all of this, but I just believe that if you find this discipline to love somebody where they are, and then you walk alongside them, you give them a safe place to respond and to be emotive, to have whatever emotion, to give them the space to have mental health and wellness, the only outcome that is going to come from that is going to be what's better for them. So those are the things those are the wins right now that I think about. I think about, you know, the wins of us being able to reduce out of school suspensions. Like today, I had students that was making different choices or decisions. Right before we came on the set, there's drastic work that has to still be done and committed to. So when I think about, when you ask me about, you know, the wins and young people, we reduce that, but we got some work to do. And so I encourage and challenge everyone. You know, if every brother that you know or that you came across, just grab one. Just grab one other young brother and said, listen, man, I'm going to commit my life in this space of service to you, whether it's just hanging out with them, whether it's you having this assignment of being trap conscious and showing the mental health. If every brother just took on the beautiful burden to say, you know what, I ain't gonna get 5 or 10, I'm gonna just grab one. I guarantee you the complexion of mental health and within our community would drastically change. And so when I think about these wins, I think about that. I think about you. I think about these other brothers and Pastor Troy over there hanging out and all of these brothers who have toed the line and accepted the call. So man, those are the wins that I consistently think. That brother over there, man, he's something else. Like he helped me, like when I was one of the I was doing my principal internship at an elementary school, and he was there, and just his presence in the building, brothers being present helps our mental health. Exactly. Brothers being present, you being present, being conscious and aware, man, it is a part of our cure and wellness. So, exactly. Yeah, man.
Exactly. See, I like that. I like that. It's not even just one win. He had multiple. Like that right there, like your scope, the way that you just you view things and the feedback that you take in and how you marinate on it. It's like that right there, that's you self-reflect.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what a lot of times when it comes to mental health, that's what you have to do. You have to sit with yourself. You have to do what we call mirror work. You have to look at yourself and be like, okay, I know I'm not perfect, but hey, this is a win right here.
Yeah.
You know, I know I didn't do this the right way or the way I thought it should have been done, but look at where this person is at right now.
Man.
You know, that right there is one of those things that makes you happy.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things that is like, okay, I know my purpose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going.
Man.
You know, that and I applaud you for that.
Man,
because you got just the stories that you are telling me it's like I love the insight, but it's like you don't just talk it. It's like you don't just talk it. You're more out in the trenches. You're doing the work and you're living it.
Yeah.
And you're living to tell it. That's what I like.
Man.
While you're on your coaching journey.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about, you know, present, future in your coaching journey?
Wow. So there's some opportunities. About probably a little over a year ago, I got an opportunity. It's crazy, man. I got an opportunity when we was younger. We had hoodies with the continent of Africa on it. And you know, we used to have, coming up in the 90s, we had medallions, you know, all those. But I got to step foot on the continent. I was over in on a mission trip in Malawi in a village, and I got to go over there and serve some students, some little students that we couldn't speak the same language, but we spoke in spirit the same language. I got a chance to go and speak to a couple of high schools over there. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to keep this message of wellness and mental health going. We have students that we serve in Southeast Raleigh. I'm going to go back home in Ohio and Michigan. We have some opportunities going to California. I just was able to serve some school counselors in the state of North Carolina and Greensboro last week. Okay. And so we're excited to get to coach students and administrators and counselors And my wife and I, we coach couples, and we're family strategists as well to keep the space of health and mental wellness growing. So we're super excited about that, man. We international now. We get to go, and so we're planning to go back over there in a couple months, and then still here in the States, man. So that's our passion. This is our calling and our assignment.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's what we passionate
That right there in family, keeping family together.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to hear you say that, hey, you and your wife are counseling to families and teaching the core values and
Absolutely.
how to keep the family together and also taking the family forward, if that makes sense. Like
Absolutely.
pushing them forward when it comes to their gifts, when it comes to spending time with each other, so that way it can not just be a dopamine, but it can keep the mental together, because you know how to tap in with each other. Man. You know if someone's emotions, hey, you need to talk, because you don't see that a lot in families. You see a lot of kids who may talk to someone outside of their mom or dad. Yeah. But teaching them how to actually go to their parents and having the parent not be judgmental. Man. That right there, I want to dive more into that, and I know for sure you probably got a lot of info. Bro. This won't be the last time y'all see this, man.
Come on, man. Bring me back, Dries, please. Come on, man. We continue this conversation.
That right there, that's a whole other conversation. And your wife's name, is it Miss Angelique?
Yeah, man. Yes. What's up now? Yes. Miss Angie, Miss Culture's auntie.
Listen,
Angelique Moore,
I respect her, first of all, because she don't play.
You know her too well. Yeah.
She don't play that. And that was like my first couple of times meeting her. I'm like, hey, listen, auntie, I'm sorry. She made sure that you got your shirt. I wasn't trying to have no smoke with nobody.
Right, look, man.
She said, hey, you better get this shirt from my husband now. That's what she said. She said, I hear one thing coming out your mouth, but your actions are saying another. So he
now
got
you know
shirt.
The next thing she's gonna be like, where my shirt at?
Exactly. I got you. But I got this for you real quick, big bro.
Uh-oh. Look. Oh, man. Hold up now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Wow.
Look.
So
let's get conscious right now.
Let's get conscious. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To the T-Rap Trap conscious. Yeah.
Hoodies haven't even dropped yet. However.
Oh.
This right here, sir.
You don't even understand right now.
This right here. As we spoke about today, just right now, about how this is not just we like to get fresh. Yeah. We like to put on the fit. Yeah. But this is more of a lifestyle. Yeah. And you could look good doing it and represent the lifestyle. Look. I told this story before, man. Like this may be for you, you know, for your mental health, but this is more of just supporting the ones who may be silenced right now, who feel like they can't say anything. Yeah. But if they see this, you wearing this right now, it's like, okay, let me go see what this man is about. And then they found out you were a coach. They found out that you do care about the mental health community. So if anyone is dealing with mental health crisis that you know of, wear this in support of them. And look good doing it. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
It's not a trend, it's a lifestyle. Trap conscious, this goes to you, sir.
Oh,
yes,
my
sir.
goodness. Oh, man. So I'm a musician and I love music. The greatest part of any piece of music is the hook.
The hook.
This the hook,
That's
man. Look, this garment right here is they gonna have to ask, yo, what is this? And I appreciate you, your calling, your assignment, your ability to see beyond the moment and create garments and things that can sometimes cover up these wounds and scars, but gives us a place of healing. And what you're doing right here, man, is I think it's so much greater than what we really know and understand. And I'm just so indebted to you for your service, for your ability to see beyond the moment, see beyond what sometimes people will put a mask on, but you can see wounds and you know how to get the salve and healing to them. So, bro, I appreciate all of who you are and what you're doing. This is a kingdom movement, so I'm thanking you for just allowing me to be a part of this.
And I like what he called it that too. He called him what, my kingdom apparel.
Man,
my kingdom apparel.
Let's go, man.
Look, citizens.
Look,
you feel me?
I'm just saying. Ask me where I got it from, huh? We trap conscious, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, to my trap out fam, when trapped in, you trap out. Always be a product by choice, a living product by choice. Be fruitful where you're planted. Trap conscious. Trap out.
I
appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you so much.
Man.
Thank you.